We
Mhm.
reorganized my offer, my business completely. It feels really good right now to sit here and talk about this. Hopefully, I can also inspire others to start their journey.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another student interview. Today, I have Shamu on here. So, Shamu, thank you so much for coming on the channel.
Pleasure.
First of all, I guess could you give everyone a quick walkthrough on, I guess first how old you are, because I think that's pretty unique about your story. You're one of the youngest members we've ever worked with, and kind of like how you got into video editing as a whole.
Sure. Yeah, so I'm currently 17 years old. I think I've started editing around 1.5 years ago when I was 16. So yeah, it's been a pretty incredible journey since. So I was starting out just as a freelance video editor. I was basically having this like the basics of Premiere Pro, this basic skill of video editing for like a couple of years before I started, because I was experimenting with uh, making YouTube videos like with different stuff when I was I don't know 10 years old or something like that. So I've had a basic skill set of that, and I was really wanting to make money some way. So I was kind of figuring that out, and then came the idea of actually trying to make some money off of my existing skill of video editing. But back then it was like really basic. I can remember I started out, I think on Reddit, and I made a couple of posts there just saying that I would be happy to edit videos for free for like I don't know, beginner YouTubers. And yeah, this is how it came to be, and then it evolved into like something much more professional. Currently, I'm running a YouTube agency. I'm also running my YouTube channel, which is growing pretty decently. So yeah,
Hmm. And how did you find out about, I guess, my channel and Grow Creatives?
I think I came across a couple of your videos about like freelance video editing, how to make money with video editing and things like that. And I think I've known your channel for like a couple of months or like even 1 year before I decided to reach out to you for help. I think I watched I think a similar video to this one of like an
Hmm.
interview with your one of your previous students, and yeah, I just booked a call with you because that time I was pretty stuck with my agency at around I think $1,000 per month or like somewhere there, because I was
Hmm.
working a lot. I didn't have time to do outreach. I didn't have time to kind of grow my business. I couldn't figure out how to charge more for my services, and yeah, I had problems like this. So I was looking for some kind of help, and yeah, this is where I reach out to you.
Well, first of all, how does it feel to be now on the other side, actually doing one of those interviews? You know, before you were watching them, before you decided to join, how does it feel to be, kind of on the other side, just, a few months later, really?
It definitely feels really good. So like yeah, currently I'm basically every month I'm learning something completely new. There are like many opportunities opening up for me. Like just I just realized how much I don't know, and this is like pretty like humbling for me. Like every month I'm
Mhm.
I'm learning something pretty much game changer for my business that I can implement right away. So like I think in the first month when I started working with you and with Grow Creatives, basically a lot of stuff were like completely new for me. We
Mhm.
reorganized my offer, my business completely, um, and yeah, basically it feels really good right now to sit here and talk about this. Hopefully, I can also inspire others to start their journey.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing I wanted to add is Shomu is actually also from Hungary, which is where I'm from as well. So it was very cool to see his journey because you really did kind of remind me of a younger version of myself when I was also like 16, 17 years old and like from Hungary as well, trying to make it work in this. So it's been a pleasure like seeing your growth over the last few months, and I'm continually eagerly watching how you're going to keep progressing over this year. But now let's take it back a little bit before we started working together, when you were stuck around the $1,000 a month mark, or even under that a little bit here and there, right? I guess how much were you charging? What kind of clients were you working with mainly, and how did you get your clients back then?
Yeah, so what I can remember is that it was really all over the place. So I didn't have like a basic outreach strategy that I was using consistently. I was trying out different stuff. I wasn't consistent. I think I had like
Hmm.
3 or 4 clients, but they were all like low paying. So like yeah, I think the highest one of them was like $800 per month. But for that, I had to make, I know, like 20 YouTube videos or something like that, 20 long form YouTube videos. So it was
Hmm.
like ridiculous how little I charged compared to how much I was working. So this was I think the biggest thing that for me is that I was struggling to find high paying clients. I was struggling to package my skills into an offer that is actually valuable, that the market wants, and that I can actually sell for the amount of money that would be worth it for me. So that
Hmm.
was the biggest thing because yeah, this really made me struggle at that 1K mark. And yeah, as you said, it was like a bit under that, a bit more than that, but yeah, I think it was like around $1,000. But I was literally working like I don't know, six hours every day, or like even more, just editing, not even speaking about the outreach that I was doing. So like I was basically stuck. So yeah, when we started working together, we reorganized my offer. We repackaged it basically. We also talked about like what would be the best outreach method for me that I can start utilizing, and actually double down on that and only do that and become the best at it. And yeah, this was cold email for me, which
Hmm.
then was able to get me my current clients that I have, which are like probably like pay me 10 times as much if we calculate it like per hour, or like
Hmm.
I think yeah, at least 5 times as much as they were before my old clients. So yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. And where are you at right now in terms of the actual numbers? On the monthly basis.
Yeah. Yeah. So currently I'm between $2,000 and $3,000 per month. I'm working around 1 or 2 hours for my clients each day. So it really reduced. I really reduced that number because I started to look for an editor. I was able to find one, and I'm currently in the process of like outsourcing the editing work for that editor. I also found a
Hmm.
VA that I was able to outsource my outreach efforts. So currently with my cold email system that we've created, I only have to like talk with the leads that were interested and that replied back to me, and I only have to get on sales calls. Like I don't have to do any other thing like lead generation and like messaging people and stuff. So that's also really good. So I've kind of been able to automate that really well. So yeah, I'm between that 2 to 3K per month. What was interesting is when we started working together, we repackaged the whole thing, and um, yeah, it took quite some time, like 1 or 2 months at least. No, I think yeah, like 2 to 3 months at least to get my first clients with the first client with that new offer. And yeah,
Hmm.
what I've learned over the last couple of months is that your actions and the results that you get definitely have a buffer time between them, or like a latency, where you have
Hmm.
to start doing the actions for like a couple of months at least before you start to see results. And this is the reason that I think a lot of video editors and overall like people don't see the success that they want, because they start something, they are not consistent because they don't see results for like a couple of weeks and then they stop. And what I've learned over the years, not over the years but over the last like half a year now, is that if you just start a good strategy that you know that theoretically can work, and you just trust the process and stay consistent, you will get results if you don't give up.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, just for everyone to get some more context as well, I think like 3K a month, going from 1 to 3K is a really good jump because the way I see it is, one of the biggest challenges in the beginning is just going from 0 to like 1K, right? Like going from nothing to even just doing something. That's a big challenge on its own. But then going from like 1 to like 3 to 5 range, again, that's quite a big challenge as well because you need to build up your foundational knowledge over like the business side of things a little bit more, right? And I can tell, like, even just the way you can speak about these things now, like when we started working together, you didn't even know half of these things that you are talking about right now, right? So that's very cool. Like you have learned definitely a lot. And yeah, I think you have made this second jump. Now the next jump will be the team building aspect and really just making your efforts a bit more consistent in terms of the client generation, like lead generation stuff, um, and um, and maybe your branding a little bit, and that's going to take you all the way to like 15 to 20 if you can crack those, which I think you should be able to get there this year. And what do I guess one thing I wanted to ask is like what do your parents, or like, I guess if anybody around you knows about kind of what you're doing, like what do they think about it? Because 3K a month in Hungary is like a lot of money. That's like top, pretty much like top 5% income from like a normal job in Hungary. Like most people make maybe 1,000 on average. So 3K a month in Hungary is like really good. What do people around you think about this?
Yes, I was definitely careful about like telling about this to other people because I didn't really
Yeah.
like to like talk about this stuff. But
Hmm.
yeah, obviously like after some time, my parents knew that I was working. I kind of explained to them like in not in details, but like overall what I was doing, and they were like, I think they are pretty impressed. They are really happy
Yeah.
to see that. Because I'm at the last 2 years of high school,
Yeah.
and I'm not planning to go to university. I kind of have some like arguments with my parents, like nothing serious, but because they are like more old-fashioned, they are not entrepreneurs. They are obviously this new internet world is completely new to them. They like don't really trust this, and they obviously want me to like go to college and get some kind of foundation for myself. Like
Hmm.
currently, I'm not planning to go to college, and yeah, we have some arguments and conversations about that. But they are definitely like proud of me, and that they like that I'm trying this business. And also my friends are like, whenever they like find out that I make money on the side, or like I make money with on the internet and with my skills, that I have a business, they always like really curious and want to know more. But like yeah, obviously it's hard to kind of talk about this to kids my
Of
age,
course.
because yeah,
Yeah.
it's not that common. So it's weird, but they usually they get pretty impressed.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, like, when I was going through high school as well, and I started doing well, the weirdest experience I had is there were. I mean, I think now I'm okay with saying this. I'm not gonna say any names, but like in my school, or let's just say in my surroundings, I knew that some people were actually selling drugs. Like on the side, kind of to make some cash. And when I asked them like, how much money can you make on like a really good weekend of like selling drugs in a party, which is like highly illegal activity, right? They said, yeah, like I can pull in like $200 if I were to translate it. And I was thinking like that is actually insane that, in a country like Hungary, right? There are people who don't know about all this opportunity that is out there on the internet, and like if they only knew, they would not even think about doing that, because there are people out there who are risking their freedom and doing something like criminal for less money than you can make just sitting down and working at your laptop for like 1 year, if you just put your head down and you're really determined to make it happen. So yeah, I think you should be proud of that, and like you're on the right path. So yeah, now I want to ask, going from that to 10xing, like how much you make per hour, what would you say were some of the biggest things that we were able to help you with? And what are some of the biggest, I guess, lessons that you would give to your younger self, or anybody who's watching from the audience and trying to get, forward with their freelancing business, or trying to get to a point even where they can hire team members as well and start building out and transitioning to a real business, right?
Yeah, probably the most important thing that made this change possible for me was that I truly trusted the things that you said and the things that Greg
Mm-hmm.
said in Grow Creatives, because I knew that you guys have done it and you know what you're talking about. And because of that, I had much more trust in actually the actions that I was taking and the methods that I was using. And because of that, I didn't second question myself, or uh, like question myself, or like, is this really the path? Should I be doing this? Like, is it a waste of time? And because of that, I was able to get much more consistent. As I said about the technical stuff, like obviously you really changed. It was a game changer about the offer side of things that you guys teach me. It was probably the most important thing at the beginning. My offer to recreate that, also my outreach method, that my outreach strategy that I started was also a game changer completely. But yeah, apart from that, I think this mentality of like really not giving up, and because I had complete trust in like what I was doing and the methods that I was trying, and also that I was able to ask for any help basically anytime that I wanted, I could reach out to you, to Greg, and just ask you guys like if I had any doubts or like any questions. And this made it like much more, much easier for me to succeed. And
Mm.
yeah, obviously, whenever I had any questions or like I wasn't sure what to do, you basically always had the answer, or like one of the guys in the school community had the answer. So like these were probably the most important things that helped me make this transition.
Hmm. Yeah, got you. And what would you say was like some of the biggest lessons that you learned from us, or just on your own as well? You know, I'm not trying to take credit for anything. We're just sharing your story. So yeah, what would you say were like some of the biggest lessons that if you could go back in time and like tell yourself even earlier, you know, would shortcut your way even more? Like, what would you say were the most key things that you learned?
Yeah, in terms of like general mindset things that I would definitely say to like every like beginner entrepreneurs or like every beginner editors that are just starting out or like maybe below 1K or like around 1K is to just really like just don't stop trying to learn new things and just like always be curious. And like there were many times where, for example, there was a time where my income went down to like a couple $100 before I could skyrocket to like 2000 and then even more. And in that period of time, I could have like give up and just completely neglect this thing because it didn't work out. But basically, what I did was I doubled down on it. I knew that at the end it will eventually I will figure it out and it will work out. So that's what I did. I stayed curious. I like started trying things. I started looking for things to improve. I started looking for ways that I could solve the problem that I was currently facing. And basically, these at the end you will just always figure it out. And in a big enough time frame, you will just get to your goal. So that's what I would say, like in general mindset thing. And yeah, apart from that, like just really specific knowledge about like building a video editing business, I would say like at the beginning, definitely really concentrating on your offer because that will be the
Hmm.
foundation of everything basically that you do. And after you have that right, and after you have an offer that you're confident in and that you can sell for the price that you want it to sell for, double down on one outreach method that you know can work from other people. And if they could do it, you will probably be able to do that too. So just double down on it and try to figure this out until you perfect it. And then when you have like consistent results with one outreach method, only then just move on to the next one. So you like don't just start at like three different outreach methods and give up on them after like 2 weeks of not getting results. Really double down on one and try to learn that as much as possible.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's very good advice. And just to reflect on your previous point as well, saying that, you know, the biggest thing was that you just didn't question it. I think that's actually a very common like pattern between the most successful students we see or people who you know, get results in general, even like people who don't work with us, you know, is that if you just go to someone who has already did what you want to do, you just basically, you know, get the right information that you need from them, and then you simply just blindly trust it pretty much and just execute and like actually put in the work, which you have definitely done. Like that's one thing I can really applaud you on, is you just implemented everything we said, right? And you showed up for the calls and like you were very active. You know, as long as you can do that, like you will see some results. Like you might not, you know, go from 0 to 100 real quick, but you will still see progress for sure. And usually the people who don't see results are those who always, you know, question everything, who try to figure everything out on their own, and think that they know better, because that really comes from a place of like ego, you know. And I think that's one thing you also want to make sure to keep in mind and like pay attention to, is that you never want to develop like a big ego, because the moment you think that you know better, you know, and that you are the shit, that's when you will stop progressing. Like you always want to stay in this place where you are perceptive to new ideas. You are always open to learning new things and learning from other people, whether they are making more than you or less than you. Like there is almost always something you can learn from everyone, even if it's like learning what not to do. You know, that's something like from everyone you can learn something, even if it's just like learning what not to do. But yeah. Now, I wanted to ask another thing, which is what was the main struggle that you had before, working with us? Like, was it just the offer, or I mean, I guess we kind of already touched on this a little bit, but yeah, I guess, or what was the most difficult part, before you had that clarity and you had that part.
Yeah, probably the most difficult part was figuring out how to charge more for my
Mm-hmm.
services, because the problem was that I was working too much to even make like $1,000, that I didn't really have time to do outreach and to really deepen my knowledge and to learn an outreach method. And that's, I think, a big mistake that a lot of editors make, is that they rather just work more and make a bit more money in the short term rather than give them time to do outreach. Like, let's say, dedicate 1 or 2 hours per day just to do outreach, to learn sales and things like that. Because these like 1 or 2 hours and the abilities that you learn um, during these will definitely grow your business much more than just I don't know, taking on one more client because they pay you $500 like per month. If you don't have any necessities, you don't pay rent and things like that, I would definitely say just focus on building your business and growing your business and learning skills that will grow your business, and not just blindly take on more clients because it's like more money in the short term, because you won't get anything from it. You won't be able to long term scale your business and things like that. So yeah, that was my main struggle, I think, is that I didn't have time because I had such low paying clients that I had to take on a lot of them to even make like $1,000. So I didn't have time to do outreach. And yeah, that's basically was solved when I was able to construct a better offer, a more valuable offer, and also like establish an outreach method where I don't have to like manually send emails, for example, because I was doing cold emails back then, sending out manual emails, and that was also a game changer for me to start using softwares for it and automating the process.
Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome. Cool. And what would you recommend to someone, who's watching this video, like maybe they are in the exact situation where you are in, maybe like a year ago? What would be, I guess, your number one piece of advice to anyone who's watching this and is trying to replicate kind of what you've been able to do?
Yeah, the number one definitely would be to not give up. Like you see that it's possible from me and from like many other guys that are doing this. So definitely don't give up. And like apart from that, really focusing on learning new skills and developing yourself. Like obviously one of the ways that this can be done is to like, I don't know, buy a mentorship or like buy coaching or buy some kind of like package or service where you can better yourself and really learn from others. But also this can be just going out and really putting in a work and maybe I don't know, sending a thousand or like 100 outreach messages a day, or like reaching out to, I don't know, 20 people per day, or like generating 20 qualified leads per day, or like making these little challenges for you that will make you grow. Like for example, what I did was I set out to generate 20 leads for my cold email campaigns every day. That's what I was doing, and this basically teach me a lot of things, and also made me really consistent about that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like making these types of challenges, and this will make it much easier to learn abilities that will then um, you will be able to use to kind of scale your business. So like definitely developing yourself would be really important.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned like getting coaching or consulting or courses, stuff like this. Like, what made you confident, I guess, that it would at the end of the day work out for you? Because I remember when you got in, it was like a lot of money for you, to join. Like, it was a very significant investment. I think it was like almost all your money. What made you confident in yourself that it's going to work out? Because I think a lot of people are afraid to get into it, or maybe they have bought a course in the past, like for $1,000 course or $500 course or something where it was just videos. So yeah, what made you confident that it would actually work for you?
Yeah. First of all, like if if you just think about like, yeah, it's a lot of money currently. Like a couple $1,000s can be a lot of money for you if you're just making like $1,000 per month or even under that. But you have to think about like if you will be able to maybe double or triple your current income, it will already be more, like easily worth it for you, like really easily. So like it's kind of a limiting belief for some people. I would say that it's a lot of money because if you just think about like mathematically, if you double your income, you probably make that money back in like a couple of months. So it will already be worth it at that point. And yeah, apart from that, the things like having like 24-hour access or like just like everyday access to the coaches and just not getting video courses and actually being able to get on calls and speak with the coaches that you buy the service from is really important for me, and that was important. And also just like knowing that you've done it and like other guys have done it, it was just not an easy choice for me to make, but like looking back at it, it was definitely a good choice.
Okay, awesome. And for anyone who's maybe on the fence about joining or who's thinking about it, like how would you describe, I guess, the program? Like what should they expect going into it? And also like who would you say it's for and who would you say it isn't for? Because I definitely don't think it's for everyone. I think you were a good fit, like I said on the first call, and I think things worked out because you actually implemented things. But yeah, like how would you describe, I guess, the whole thing looking back?
I would say if you're an editor who's or like any you have any creative skills and you're currently like not making the money that you want to, but you know that your skills are like pretty good and you could be making a lot more, but you're struggling to implement the stuff and just knowing where to go and how to scale. I think that's definitely for you. And obviously, as you said, you have to be open-minded. You shouldn't be blinded by your ego. That's really important. So if you're a person who thinks like yeah, you always know better and things like that, and you're the best, you probably won't be able to like get any value from this because you actually have to implement the stuff and work hard. Like this course or like this coaching program won't do the work for you. It just will provide you with the necessary information. But yeah, I would definitely say these are really important. And yeah, in terms of like how this coaching looks like, it's like you have weekly calls. You can basically always message you and Greg. So that part I really like, that you have basically 24-hour access, or like you can access the coaches like every day of the week. So that was really important, and you can ask all the questions that you have. It's not just like video courses, although like the video courses that you have are also important. But yeah, this was probably the best part about this coaching program. And also like the community, there were many times where you can ask questions in the community, and guys will just reply to you that have already solved that problem that you have. So that's also nice.
Thank you for the kind words. I'm glad you had like a good experience. So for everybody who is watching this video right now, you can, number one, you can find Shamu's channel in the description. So if you are maybe like a very beginner editor and you want to learn more about freelancing stuff from him as well, or just see Shamu's perspective and more of his learnings, you can find his channel in the description, and I highly recommend you subscribe to that. And if you're thinking more about working with us directly at Grow Creatives, then you can actually go ahead and schedule a call to talk to us in the description below. Make sure you fill out all the questions there, and you will get a chance to speak to us and see if you would be a good fit or not. So yeah, Shamu, thank you again for coming onto the channel, and thank you everybody for watching.
Thank you. Bye bye.